Hi, everyone. It's awesome to be here. We're not going to be too long, and this is a great presentation for me personally because I'm not really giving much of a presentation. I'm really going to be turning it over to Matt and Greg to be doing all the talking because they're the experts, or they're the ones in the marketplace here locally that are doing all this really great stuff. But we've had a great day so far. I was psyched to see Dr. Thornburg. Is he still here in the audience? His presentation earlier? Because when I was born, where are you? I was 9 pounds exactly. I am so psyched that my chances of heart disease are low. I can abuse my body for the rest of my life if I want. That's great. All right, cool. Real quick, that's what he said. Pete Karpinski, I have a restaurant company called Sage Restaurant Group. We're 10 years old. We're actually based out of Denver, Colorado. We've got 9 restaurant brands, 10 restaurants in 7 different states. 3 of those restaurants are here. We have Departure, Urban Farmer, and The Original, all in downtown Portland. So we've been in this marketplace for like 7 years. It's pretty amazing. We're going to talk to you guys today just about a few ideas. The main topic is keeping it local, particularly what we're doing here locally, and some specific examples from Greg and Matt. We're also going to talk to you about some trends, where we think things are going, and how some of the things that we are doing intertwine to trends, and I would say trends kind of going in both directions, like what we do organically, how it grows in the industry, and then maybe how the macro industry is doing some things that cause us to make some decisions about how we want to do things locally. But we are a big, firm believer that the future of restaurants, particularly the type of restaurants that we run, it's going to continue to gravitate towards being local and working very, very closely with local ranchers, farmers, foragers, artists, and craftspeople. So we're really excited about that. It was one of the foundational tenets of our business 10 years ago, and I think the industry has continued to shift that way, so it's helped us. We're also going to talk a little bit about food marketing in restaurants and how these, not direct marketing, but sort of what these guys are doing is our way of marketing these ideas in the business. And some of these ideas are centered around what the world has taught us over the last 10 years and what we learned from it, how we make our decisions, and what's going on from there. The last bullet point here I have here is called the trend cycle. Really what that is for us, we follow this thing called the trend cycle. We see how within the industry trends cycle into the restaurant business, the grocery business, other food sectors. And one of the things that we've noticed as an institution is that as the years go on, and it's rapidly increased in just the last few years, but this trend cycle, so this idea of like some of these things that the chefs are doing here locally, how long does that take as a trend to become mainstream? How long does it take to become a viable business opportunity? How long does then that take for it to become more mainstream in America? And then how long does it take to become so big that we're going to want to move on and try something different to stay on the bleeding edge, but also because we don't want to be like mainstream America? That trend is shortening. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And some things that used to take 7 or 8 or 9 or 10 years to get into mainstream America, we're seeing, particularly in our business, only taking 2 or 3 years. All right, so that's positive in one way because a lot of the people in this audience that have products or ideas or doing things that they want to get to that level, it happens quickly. But when it does happen, you want to be able to capitalize on it today and be ready for the next trend because it comes around the corner. I'm not really going to go into this slide, but really these are just some, you can't really read it, it's too small. But one of the things that we've seen is that most of the stuff in our business starts usually at an organic level. A lot of times you see the cool stuff happening in restaurants and high-end restaurants and innovative restaurants, and they eventually kind of make their way into mainstream America. They end up in grocery stores and in fast casual restaurants and in other types of food service. We're starting to see a huge shift in grocery stores, and a lot of the things that are going on in grocery stores. Whole Foods is a great example, and they're a big partner of this conference. The stuff that they're doing is flipping that sort of innovation cycle on its head, and the big grocery store chains are doing a lot of things today that the independent restaurants used to be the ones doing. They're also doing some things today that the independent restaurants are going to, we're looking at what they're doing to kind of, I don't want to say steal their ideas, but to take inspiration from. So it's that's an interesting thing that we've been noticing, I've been noticing at a macro level in the industry. So I'm going to turn it over in a second, but I will again tell you that this idea of keeping it local for us has been a game changer. It's something we're committed to, and it's really helped our businesses thrive. We do it in all the marketplaces that we're in. It has very small direct impact. It can also grow into a macro impact. So if you're a business owner, if you're in this type of business, it can be really meaningful. I'll give one quick story. I could stand up here and talk for hours about the probably hundreds of different things that we've done over the years that we might not have done with specific purpose, but has organically grown into something. And we opened a restaurant a couple years ago outside of Denver, Colorado called Kachina. It's modern Southwestern, and we put a dessert on the menu right when we opened. It's I think the dessert is called chocolate chili beignets with a cajeta dipping sauce. And we wanted to do a true cajeta dipping sauce. We went out and we were looking for raw goat's milk to use for the dipping sauce, how they would make it traditionally. We couldn't find it anywhere in Denver, really anywhere in Colorado. We found a local farmer who lives way up by Boulder who was raising goats and was like, yeah, sure, you can have my milk, right? So we started buying this raw unpasteurized goat's milk from him just for the restaurant. And it caught on, people loved it, we started getting press, it got kind of viral on the social media side of things, and he started then, people calling him to get goat's milk, and he started selling goat's milk to people, and it grew and grew and grew and grew, where he finally started to produce so much, and then he wanted to start selling it mainstream. He found a company that could do cold press pasteurization for him through an HPP machine. I'm sure a lot of people in this room know what that is. It's a huge trend that we're starting to see in the industry in the liquid products, not only dairy, but it's been in the juice business for a long time. And he's now getting this process through an HP machine and selling it to grocery stores. So we can't afford to buy his milk anymore, so we have to move on and find another person that's doing that. But a lot of these things, and this is the point of my quick little story, is that those little things that we start to do very, very organically sometimes grow, and we're proud of that. It's something that we think is really awesome, and it creates this lift and this halo effect for hopefully this really great industry that we're all in and the people in this audience really care about. So I'm going to turn it over to Matt Christensen, and he is going to talk about some things that he's doing here in town.